Welcome everybody. Today we have a webinar about S/4HANA Public Cloud and how it can help you in finance and control. I just would like to point out that it's part of a bigger number of webinars. So upcoming events are supply chain management and myth and perceptions with S/4HANA Public Cloud. If yourself or if one of your colleagues would like to enjoy, feel free to subscribe for those webinars. Next to that, I would like to tell you that you have the possibility to ask questions in the chat. I will pick them up later on. And there is also a poll which you might want to answer to. All right. Who do you have in the webinar today? So your today's presenters will be Felipe Arteaga, my colleague. He's an SAP consultant in S/4HANA Public Cloud, focusing on the finance in finance. Myself, I'm Pim van der Zee. I also work as an SAP consultant at Shear, also with focus on finance. And today we get some help from our sales manager, Josien van den Burg, who will be act as a moderator today. All right, so what's the agenda for today? I will give you a brief introduction of Shear, who we are and what we do. And then I will give you some brief introduction in S/4HANA Public Cloud. And then from there, we roll into the record to report, which is the finance part of S/4HANA Cloud. And we're also going to look in financial reports and analysis and how we can use AI tools, for example, and we end with a Q&A. So Shear, and especially Shear the Netherlands, we are an expert SAP partner in the field of S/4HANA Public Cloud. We are cloud focused fully since 2017. We have the most cloud public go live projects in the Netherlands. And our approach is to have a fit to standard approach, which means that we are helping you to translate your business processes in the best functional S/4HANA Public Cloud landscape. To do that and to be able to do that, we have a very high number of qualified consultants. All our SAP S/4HANA Cloud consultants have a certification. And next to that, we keep investing in the knowledge in that field of expertise. As I told you, in 2012, we started with our first cloud product, which was then S/4HANA by design. And since 2017, we also started with S/4HANA Public Cloud. And these days, S/4HANA Public Cloud is our only and main focus. And as you can see here, there are a couple of examples of successful implementations that are being done in the past or still going on, some of those. So what is S/4HANA Public Cloud? Well, S/4HANA Public Cloud is a software as a service. So that means that SAP is responsible for all the basic things around an ERP system, like servicing, hosting, updating the system, maintenance, backup, and also, if needed, support. The S/4HANA Public Cloud is built on the SAP Business Technology Platform. And the most important thing, that it has a HANA database. Now, what is this HANA database? The HANA database is actually an in-memory column-based database. To put it a little bit less technical, it means that we can have a large set of data directly available at any moment in time. And this is very important also in the next slides to explain how this can help you, of course, in your daily business. Next to that, it's important that S/4HANA Public Cloud is a modular system. So that means that depending on the size of your business, depending on your business needs or where you are in growing, the system can still fit your business. So you could say S/4HANA Public Cloud grows with your business. Next to that, with S/4HANA Public Cloud, there are more than 800 pre-configured best practices. And those best practices are not just simple functionalities, but these are complete end-to-end processes for particular kind of business processes. So some are very general, and some of those are very particular for a certain kind of business. Next to that, within the system, we have the availability of AI as well as insights and yeah, to help you through your daily business. As I mentioned, the HANA database. Within this database, we have the universal journal. And what does it mean? That means that for all the transactions that are in the system, we have a very, very large single table where all the information is kept for those transactions. So you could think about all the information regarding currency in that transaction, parallel valuations. So we have the possibility to use multiple ledgers at the very same time. In that table, there is actual data, plan data, prediction. There's data that's needed for simulation, for controlling, etc. So at every transaction that is created or updated in that table contains all this information. This could be helpful for event-based costing, for example, for real-time revenue recognition. And it is very important to have this, so you have a single version of the truth in finance. And because all the transactions are in the same universal journey, we use that same universal journey as a start for our analysis and our reporting. So we're using the same business foundation. Well, imagine this business foundation is the blue beam here in the middle. Today, we tell you a little bit more about the record to report part of S/4HANA Cloud, which is creating the financial records, performing your financial accounting, performing the financial close, and in the end, report everything. And this very same data set is used in financial planning as well for your analysis and for simulations and predictions. With S/4HANA Public Cloud, you will have a tool available that can save you a lot of time in doing those daily tasks. So we save time by automate tasks, and we save time by having better insights, which also makes the data that we're using for those insights of a higher quality. So how are those financial records created? Well, depending on the setup of your system, if all your processes are in S/4HANA Cloud, every process in S/4HANA Cloud creates automatically its own transactions. So most postings coming from business transactions and are saved in the universal journal. If it doesn't fit in there, you might have the options to use extension from SAP solutions. You could think about Concur, for example, which is a tool to upload expenses and automatically create the financial records. But you could also think, for example, about central invoice management, which is now a new tool to upload your supply invoices, to scan them, and then automatically post them in S/4HANA Public Cloud. Records can come from, for example, accrual engine, recurring entries. We'll come back to the accrual engine a little bit later. And what we see a lot these days also are the API integrations. So the API integrations gives you the possibility to integrate your S/4HANA Public Cloud system with any other system actually. And the data is directly available. You can post directly, you can change, you can upload journal entries, you can take this data out the system if you need it in other tools, etc. And of course, last but not least, we have the file upload as well available to create journal entries as well as the manual entry. And independent of the source, all this information is landed in the same universal journal. So if we perform our financial accounting, there are a lot of handy tools in S/4HANA Cloud. For example, we have parallel ledgering. So it means that every transaction we create, all the ledgers are updated at the same time. There are built-in checks and balances. Tools that could really help you in your daily business, for example, is situation handling. This is a tool that recognizes situations that occur in the system. So you could think about a certain kind of purchase order that has been released or a certain kind of transaction that takes place in your system, which creates a notification and sends it to the particular person who probably needs to take some action. We have intelligent GRIR processing. which means that you not have to do it manually anymore, but it's just a single click, or not even a click. You can plan those jobs as well. So daily, the system is checking the GRI account. Another example would be very handy where machine learning comes in place is, for example, intelligent bank statement processing. So when uploading the bank statements, if needed automatically, the system automatically goes through those bank statements based on history data or based on rules set before. It checks and make matches. Just a couple of examples, of course. Well, to speed up or to make the closing better as well, first of all, of course, it's very important to be able to monitor the process. Where are you? What's the quality? And what are the results? Tools that could help you with this are, for example, the accrual engine. So this is a tool that automatically creates accruals or proposals, at least for accruals, based on purchase orders. As well, we have tools that help you out with intercompany matching and reconciliation. And also for group reporting, for example, in this universal ledger, a lot of fields are already created with a certain kind of information that you need, for example, for consolidation. So that will speed up the consolidation process because the data is already prepared for that. Another, I think, very helpful tool I would like to point out is the closing cockpit. So this is a tool where you can schedule your closing tasks. You can have dependency on those closing tasks. You can report on those closing tasks, and you can set approval flows if you want to. Next to that, from that very same closing cockpit, you also have the possibility to automate the task. So that means that if the task is in line, maybe depending on another task, automatically for example, advanced valuation starts, which automatically do a reclass or a currency valuation. And yeah, if it's not an automatic process, at least you can directly go from that task to the application in S/4HANA Public Cloud, where you have to be as an employee to make that task complete. So these are just examples of how S/4HANA Public Cloud can help you speed up the process. Of course, in the end, we want to see the reports as well. So because we're using the very same database, which we update and we work on, we directly have the information available to see where we are. So for example, by using standard KPIs, or if you want to customize KPIs, as well as certain kind of overview pages. And in S/4HANA Public Cloud, from all those pages and from all those KPIs, you have the possibility to directly deep dive into the data that's behind that KPI, for example. So what are the orders? What are the transactions that are behind this? So this also makes insights much better, easier to do your checks. So that's actually the monthly or the period task, and all this data is still in the very same universal journal. And my colleague Felipe is going to tell you something about how you can use this in financial planning and analysis. So, Felipe, the room is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pim. I am extremely excited to be with you today. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to pick the conversation in this slide where you can see the record to report process. Let's say it's the operations behind it, but at the same time, we have a reporting world. Now, what is very important to keep in mind is that in the past, you make transactions, and at the end of the month, you close the month, and then you start your report process. That doesn't work anymore like that. Now there are no boundaries. Everything you see in the system, it's in real time, it's live. It means that if there are part of the company that it's selling, sending sales orders, or it's procuring, it's making payments in treasury, from the financial point of view, you have access to that information in real time. Now, this is like the most important thing. At the same time, we are also see how there are some artificial intelligence tools that are already embedded in our system, and that allows to work in a more efficient way. In order to do that, I'm going to show you my screen. This is the world of S4HANA. This is what you receive when you enter into the system. Remember that it's a cloud system. So you basically pick your browser, enter the URL, your link, your credentials, and then you are in a complete safe environment when you have access everywhere and anytime to the information of your company. Now, what you are seeing right now, it's a very populated web page, but of course, this is segregated. This response of a segregation of duties. So if you are an accountant, or you are only working in the department of payables or receivables, you're not going to see all the information, but only the information that is accessible depending on your roles. So now let's dive in how it looks and how it feels. The first one you have, it's in the top, you have menus where you can access all the departments of your financials. There are many more. Here you can see how you can access to many lights depending on your role. But we have a pick for this presentation, about 4 that we go to dive in. For starter, you have your inbox where you can check or review direct messages that your colleagues have sent you. Then you have the second stage will be task. Tasks are tasks that the system where the system requires your action, like approve or reject a purchase order, a sales order, journal entry, the sale of a fixed asset, etc. So it's endless possibilities. So basically, you have just as soon as you enter into the system, you know where do you have to put your attention. In addition to task, you're going to have situations. So what are situations? You can ask the system to keep you informed of any particular information. It is important for your work. For example, we have been testing the deviations in the reconciliation of the good receipts and the invoice receipts. And I have instructed the system that tell me every time there is a high deviation, so I can immediately jump into action or tell a colleague or make some kind of delegations. This kind of situation could be of any time. For example, anytime you make a sale over 50,000 US dollar, or if you have any problem with the reconciliation of receivables over 60 or 90 days. So you can tailor your system to provide exactly the information you require. Next is the news. Those basically is information about the system and the new releases. Remember that SAP delivers 2 releases a year. This means that every year in February and August, you are going to receive better functionalities, new apps, new ways to do things. And now with the extremely rapid acceleration of artificial intelligence, you need to keep up with the news because every day we receive news about new functionalities, and with the releases, you have access, sometimes early access, but you have access to those particular things. Then it's pages. Pages, it's basically you can tailor in a different axis. So when you go to pages, you are accessing these menus in a faster way. So again, another way to see or to enter to the apps that you require. Inside tiles, those tiles are direct access to your fields of operation, but in addition to be a direct tile, it also contains information of your KPIs. So if you develop a KPI like receivables or like days sold standing, you can have here information at real time. As you can see here, this was updated 2 hours ago. That's dependent on your configuration, but you can have immediate access to the information. So anything that is going in operations, you will have in the dashboard an immediate response. Inside cart, they're basically the same, but a little bigger. You can add graphics. Now, what you are seeing right now, it's pre-delivered. So this is pre-delivered by the SAP as soon as you start using the system. Of course, you have a lot of possibilities to change and modify the settings in the way you require. Finally, you have group of apps. I have a lot because we have been testing many of the features, but basically you collect the information you require in groups. For example, taxes. So you can see your taxes, or you can go directly to other information, asset inventory, master data, projection of migrations, etc. Now let's dive in the tiles, for example. If you have overdue receivables, Pim already mentioned that we have insight to action, which means that once you have see at KPI that is particularly interesting, you just go there. From there, you can go to graphics or to tables. You can select the 10 top customers, for example, or you can go directly, you can jump here directly to the items. So in this case, we are seeing that our receivables are in trouble. There are more than 90 days, but immediately in just one click, we can go directly to the transaction and see what are the invoices, what are the customers, how many days are due, and they have, of course, lights, traffic lights to indicate what information it's important. Let's jump now to other report. In the case of general ledger, for example, in the overview, as you can see from here, I can access of different stages, taxes, reporting, periodic activities. In this case, we're going to review the overview. Within the overview, you have quick access to different apps that can take you to the place that you want. We're going to review the balance and sheet and income. Any transaction that it's posted, it's immediately dumped into these reports. So you have automatic access to the information. You can change all the filters, the periods, the information you need, but then now you can see how it's easy to spot the information you require. In the case of the balance sheet, for example, you can extend one by one, or you can extend the whole table to see if you can see there are information that it's already that has directly into action. So let's take a look. In the case profit loss, for example, if we start to dive in, we can see how there is a particular figure that that could be interesting for us. From this link, from this result, I can drill down into more and more information. That information is going to be ready. You can actually change the way it's presented and keep your own personalized information. And from here, we saw the detail, the lines that all together make the data that we are interested in analyze. But from here, we can actually go to the direct posting. In this case, for example, we want to analyze the process, how this value arrived from here. So if you jump directly, you can see what are the transactions behind. The quotation, the contract, the sales order, the outbound delivery, the invoice. As you can see, there are signs here that allow me to understand if the document is posted, not posted. In this case, for example, accounting and clearing are pending, which means that I need to inquire why this particular document is still open. And as soon as I make the reconciliation, I will have green lights everywhere. So this is basically, which means insight to action. Let's navigate now in the group reporting. Group reporting is a very fancy feature. Basically, that's the part of the process where you put all your companies together. As Pim mentioned, all the information is already in the system. So if you have closed one of the entities that is in the system, you have direct access to see the result of that particular company. But if you have many, or if you have intercompany transactions, all those transactions need to be consolidated. This requires a process. So in this case, you need to prepare the period. You need to, for example, make a update on the foreign exchange rates. That could be daily, that could be at the end of the month, depending on your policies. Then you need to go through a consolidation process, especially eliminating all the double transaction or inclusive making additional postings. But once you have finished that particular process, you are ready to go to the reports. So again, we are focusing in the reporting, but remember that all the transactions are in real time. I'm going to show you the booklet. The booklet for the people that has been working in SAP for a few years, they will be find very interesting this kind of reports. We usually start with dynamic reports that resemble more a pivot table, but now we are focusing in booklets. So what is a booklet? The main idea behind the booklets is that as soon as you finish your consolidation, we already saw that it's possible to reduce even 50% of your consolidation process. So we are talking about finish a big, small, big, or huge corporation within 3, 4, 5 days after the closing. But you still need to dump all that information in reports. The idea is that you work and you have the discussions that you need to have with your team inside the tool. From here, you have dynamic reports, which mean that you can see the results in the presentation or in the same presentation that you're going to use to populate your booklets for stakeholders or for your partners, for example. So this information is already there. If you make any change, any additional journey, if you are able to close a sale or to finish the delivery of a contract and post it, is going to be immediately into the report. So there are no need to dump the information in Excel and update the information there or use external dashboards like Power BI. You can immediately access your information from here. And you will have a full range of details. Not only the balance sheet, but also different looks at the profit and loss, for example, nature for expense or function of expense. Let's dive in here. For example, you can take a look of your P&L and you can ask the system to give you a waterfall graphic in real time. If you go into the details, the graphic also is going to be populated additionally. If you require to see or to analyze that information, obviously you have access to the information that it is in the back. What is the ledger? What is the fiscal year? You can make filters for division, cost centers, profit centers. You can change the way of the summary of how it's summarized. And you can actually make formatting. And if you want to use this tool to analyze in real time, you can use things like or features like the conditional formatting, where you can pick any variable, where you can add thresholds, and basically in real time, he's letting, depending on your threshold or depending on the figures you want to analyze, he's capable to look into the system and create mappings or new things to analyze. So that's why it's very, very cool. Remember that usually you are racing against time. So the fact that you can analyze in real time, jumping from one view to the other, it's extremely helpful. It allows you to finish your booklets in time. If you combine these features with other features that SAP provide, like making questionnaires to your divisions or to your companies abroad, you also can have all the information, all the notes to the financial statements at hand. I would like to finalize this presentation to taking a look of what we call the booklets. So again, the booklet is a new kind of report that you can access. So it's a new way to understand the information of the company. Let's go to cost centers, for example. Let's say this is a report that you have been that you just received. You just received it 30 seconds ago. You have a lot of detail, but you need to improve your efficiency. This is first. Let me go back. In order to create this report, you are already using machine learning, intelligent capabilities, and also artificial intelligence. Just in the reconciliation, for example, or how do you treat the balance, the bank statements. All that allows you better finishing in less time. But now, with the new arrival of artificial intelligence, you can also apply artificial intelligence to read these reports. In this case, in addition to the buttons that we already saw, we have Business Insights. Business Insights is an AI tool that allows you to have summary as a starting point for the analytics. So basically, the system it's reading your results, and you will be able to train that system to bring you the information you want and you require immediately. So it's some kind of assistant and smart assistant that brings, for example, the insights in a natural language. So we are now facing, for those that are fans of the artificial intelligence and are already playing with ChatGPT and tools like that, basically he's taking data, he's looking for insights, and he's give you initially an initial point to for the analytics. So you can focus in things that are really important and you can immediately spot what you want. I would like to take you back to the presentation and give you a little story. It's a very small story. It's about the Purloin letter. For those who are fans of Edgar Allan Poe, it's a small story where you basically, an aficionado detective, Le Chevalier Dupont, needs to find a letter that has been hidden. That particular letter was impossible to find. Everybody was looking really deep, but when the story it's resolved, they find out that the information was at hand. It was in front of everybody, but nobody was able to see it. That story remind me how AI is helping you to develop tools to analyze in real time and to deliver results exponentially faster than even 1 year ago. So again, now we have tools that are allowing to perform the closing with automated way, with intelligent tools. Let's see what are those tools. This is a time frame. So S4HANA, it's providing the foundation today of what we're going to have in the near future and in the far future. Right now, we're using tools like intelligent GRIR reconciliation, intelligent payments reconciliation, CIM, which is basically a system to receive the invoice and book it automatically, automatic tuning, automatic reports, situation handling. Those tools fall into two categories: automation, it means less manual job, but also intelligent and machine learning, where you train the system to respond in the same way that a human will respond. So if I am receiving invoices from a customer and I am locating the errors or the mistakes or problem with the taxes, and I train the system how to resolve it, next time that the same customer send the same invoice, the system is going to immediately respond and react and also propose the posting. Imagine if you're receiving 7,000 or 10,000 invoices a month, this is a huge improvement on the efficiency of the team. This is already there. Now let's see where are going to land. We expect to have better tools fully with artificial intelligence. For example, natural language-based tool, which means you don't have to type, you don't have to make filters, you just talk or express your question in a natural based language. You can ask the system what is the cost center that is presenting more problems, what is the best line that it's showing the better results in the last quarter, and he's going to perform those analysis for you, and he's going to make the booklets and he's going to present to you. We have a next generation of situation handler, but you say to the system things like, if a profit center goes beyond the budget, please send alarms or stop the bookings. Fraud detection, prediction of incoming payment, fraud prediction. Basically, it's technology that is available for banks and for major corporations years ago, but now it's possible to use it in medium and small companies. So basically analyze the behavior of any of your suppliers, of your purchasing teams, for example, and can identify suspicious transactions. Then you have a prediction of incoming payments. Basically, you will have a smart cash flow analyzer. It will provide alarms on the upcoming months, weeks, days. And finally, and very important, fully automated reconciliation, not only in the ER, but also in accounts payable. Now, those are tools that are going to arrive, but as you can see, we already have tools as business insight that are working today and are going to get better in the future. We expect that in the, 5 years, it's hard to predict, we're going to be able to test automated agents. So the automated agent are going to be tools that are going to be able to read our company results, identify our transaction, and even communicate with other automated agents of other companies. So they are going to make reconciliations in real time, avoiding this pain process in the closing. So as you can see, this is a building process. You need to start with a really good foundation. That is the foundation that S4HANA is able to provide. And from there, you're going to have building blocks. You're going to do first a business data fabric. It's where all the data is created. Remember that artificial intelligence and machine learning only works on sets of huge data. You not only have to have the transaction. We expect in the future to have nodes to those transactions that the machines are able to read and reinterpret, so they can think out of the box. Basically, what AI is doing is that machine learning is capable to give you answers on the question that you propose, that with artificial intelligence, they will going to propose new tasks, they're going to be creative, they're going to give insights that you were not expecting initially. So in order to fuel those machines, to fuel that features, you need to create a data. And that data needs to be created today if you want to expect to use those tools in the future. If you arrive or you start to use the tool in 40 years, again, the system will require sets of data, of historical data. So if you don't start today, then you will have troubles in the near future. So you create your fabric, then you improve the quality, you activate intelligent capabilities, you reduce closing times, you are able to improve your monitoring skills. So you're going to give time to your teams, not to focus on posting, but to focus in the analytics. You not only are going to analyze the data, but also the process, how the process is working, what are the bottlenecks, what can we improve. Finally, monitoring results. We already saw 4 of the many features that SAP S4HANA provide. And obviously, as soon as you have performed your analytics, you're ready to focus on prediction and simulation, which you can do also in the system. With the arrival of artificial intelligence, you're going to be able to predict, make questions, find insights in the simulations, and hopefully you will have a better strategy in the future. So, well, that's all for me. Going back to Justine. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippe, for the presentation. Meanwhile, we have received two questions from our audience, and Pim or Philippe, you can answer them. The first question is from Nana. Can you make a data connection to another reporting tool, for instance, Power BI?
Answer the question. Yes, you can. There are some advantages and disadvantages by using that, but yeah, there are already, and we have done in the past as well, integrations with Power BI. The only what, as Philip was showing you in the system, more and more functions that, for example, are available in Power BI are now into the S/4HANA public cloud system as well. And within the S/4HANA public cloud system, you can, yeah, it's easier to deep dive into this data. But nevertheless, yes, it is possible to make a connection with other systems, and like Power BI in particular.
Okay, is that clear for you, Nana? The next question is from Ronnie. Is it also possible to save extra comments, for example, in waterfall graphics reportings? In other words, can this replace internal reporting files? Maybe that's a good one for Philippe. He showed us the...
Yes, the answer is yes. Right now, the comments are not directly into the booklet. The booklet is a brand new solution. Actually, has a couple of... It was released initially last year, and it has been improving exponentially. But you have the right question. The right question is, can we have those discussions into the systems? Can we sit with my colleagues and within the same tool find actions? And the answer is yes. Specifically in the waterfall, not at this time. It's one of the future developments. But if you identify a trend in one of the waterfalls and you want explanations, you can jump immediately to the specific report of the area. And from that report, you can use situation handling, or you can send a task. If you find, for example, there are 3 invoices there is a problem with the reconciliation, or there are a customer that is in extreme risk, from the risk analysis, you can send documents or messages to your colleagues. And the cool part is that the colleague, as soon as receive the text explaining the problem, will have a direct access to the specific transaction. So he will not have to look for it or make any kind of search. So yes, there's a yes and no answer. Not right now into the tool. We expect to be into the tool in the products in the next release. But you have a point. The most important topic is those discussions must be done in the tool, with drilling into the real transaction and have immediate response of the responsibles. So you don't have to download the information into Excel and then send an email. You can do it all into the tool, and you will keep the history. Even for auditing purposes or for management purposes, you will have track of the history within the communication, or who approved, or what was the reason for a denial in some approval. So yes, you will have it. And right now you don't have it, but we are really close to have it in the booklets. The booklets is a cool addition to the arsenal of reports. And we expect that those conversations are performed in the system with real data live, let's say.
Okay, Ronnie. Yes, I see a thumb up, so I think it's clear for you. Are there any questions at the moment from anybody in the audience? I think if you don't have any questions right now, then I would like to share some handouts with you. And it's always possible to send us an email, to give us a ring if you would like to have more information. For now, we would like to thank you and hope to see you in one of our next webinars. The next one will be on the 10th of October, and it's more in the supply chain. And then we are going to deep dive in disruptions in the supply chain and how to keep in this in this world our customer satisfaction high. You can register via our webpage or via email. Thank you very much, and we will share some documents